are very happy you are watching and listening across the country on our radio affiliates. I've been doing a lot of work this weekend, getting you the inside stuff that nobody else has, and we've been pretty successful on that. Some of it I cannot report because it's so national security sensitive, but I can give you a pretty good idea of what's happening, and it changes by the hour. But if you are investing your time in other media operations, they're not going to come close to this one. I'm sorry to brag, but it's true. So let's begin with the talking points memo, the Putin summit with Trump. So President Trump's angry. That was not a pleasant ride home from Anchorage to Washington, D.C. They landed at 3 a.m. And when President Trump is angry, people stay away. Okay? Same thing with me. So I know how that is. He's angry because Putin's leading him along. And he went out of his way, as everybody knows, to be respectful to this evil dictator. A lot of people object to that. But of course, as I wrote in my column on Sunday, and my message of the day today, there's no other way to deal with Putin. You can't threaten him. He's got nukes. All right? You can't diminish him because then he'll just dig in and you'll never get a deal. So, the president rolls out the red carpet and the flyover and the car and all of this. And of course, the anti-Trumpers who don't care about their country at all or the world, they use that as a criticism. And we'll get into that a little bit. But Trump really thought he was going to walk away with something concrete like a ceasefire for 30 days so they could work out details of a peace agreement in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. And it didn't happen. And it wasn't even close to happening. So Trump believes that Putin is now, disingenuous. And I think, to be fair, that President Trump overestimated his ability to bring this madman in. And the key to it is, as you'll read in my book, Confronting Evil, which is coming out in, 2 weeks now? Putin likes to kill people. He enjoys it. And I'll prove it. And it's tough dealing with somebody like that. And Trump was fairly successful the first 4 years using the same techniques. Flattery, respect, whatever. And it worked then. But now Putin's even further into his psychopathic cycle. Okay. So today, there was a meeting in D.C., and we're still awaiting the micro details. I'll have it for you tomorrow. Zelensky showed up, and that was the right call. Got to get Zelensky in here. And then a bunch of European leaders, the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, British PM Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Finnish President Alexander Stubb. So they're all at the White House. And what is their collective take? It's interesting because it's not what you think. They're hemorrhaging money over there. All of these countries, all the NATO countries, they got to pay for this Ukrainian thing. We paid more than $200 billion, the USA. But we have the money. They don't have it. So they're really, really trying to get some kind of leverage. Putin knows that. Now, Putin's running out of money too, interestingly enough. So tomorrow on the No Spin News, I'll have a little bit more specificity on this. Changes. I mean, Zelensky goes in and goes, we're not going to make any deal that are going to change our borders. Yeah, you will. Okay? You'll have to. Unfortunately, it's not fair. It's not right. But you're going to have to give up some territory. And in return, you'll get security guarantees, which is going to be good for the Ukrainian people. But there's a lot of huffing and puffing going on over here. I will be on News Nation tonight at 9 p.m. with Leland Vittert. I may have updated specific information by that time. Okay? But I don't have it now. We're taping this in late afternoon. Okay, so ahead of the meeting in Washington, Trump puts out a social post. Quote, President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. Remember how it started. No getting back Obama given Crimea 12 years ago without a shot fired, and no going into NATO by Ukraine. Some things never change. So, yeah, the NATO thing is the easiest. Ukraine does not have to join NATO. And that, Putin is using that. It's a straw card. Remember, NATO is no threat to Russia. None. NATO's never going to invade Russia. These European countries is the last thing they want. Okay? Putin is NATO, they're going to come after us. Come on. It's just an excuse. But you take the excuse off the table by saying, okay, Ukraine's not going into NATO. And Crimea is gone. It's gone. Not coming back unless you roll NATO tanks into it, and it starts World War III. Again, the column that I wrote on over the weekend is called Dancing with the Devil, What Should Happen Now. So Trump's got to get tough with Putin. But here's the essential point. Trump does not have to get tough with Putin in public. He doesn't. Because that works against him. He's got to tell Putin privately, look, Vad, this is what's going to happen to you. Now, I'm not going to make an announcement, so it's mano a mano, a cage match between you and me. That doesn't get us anywhere. But you continue killing innocent people, and we're going to bankrupt your country. And you. And you're not going to be able to pay your generals millions of dollars to protect you, which is what it's Putin. Putin's power is based on the fact that he pays his army an extraordinary amount of money to protect it. Okay, those payments go down. The oligarchs that support Putin, they're already going to get hammered. They'll throw him out. It's not like Putin is one of these guys they love. They don't. So anyway, but to do it publicly is not the way to go. And that's a memo. The press coverage is pitiful. And I compete against all these people. I'm upfront about it. We're 10 times better than they are every day. If you're watching them, you're wasting your time. They just don't report the truth. They're all ideologically infected. They're not interested in giving you what's really happening. Not only on Trump and Putin, but on anything. It's all spin. That's why this program is the No Spin News. All right, I'm going to run it down. MSNBC got booted today from NBC. You might have known that. They're changing their name. What's the point? Everybody knows what it is. One of their people is Nicole Wallace. She used to be a communications person for Bush the Younger in his first term. Sold out for money. Makes about $1 million over there. But now she works for a different company because NBC booted them. Here's what she said. Go.
This was, for Trump, a television production that may have been rooted in different motives, but one of them was likely to change the topic of news coverage. It succeeded in that. We've all been covering this all day, for better or for worse. But clearly, Trump was not in control of anything. I mean, Putin was the alpha all day long, from Trump holding on his plane and waiting for him like a, middle schooler waiting for their first date.
Yeah, so Trump should have split, right? Go down to Juneau, maybe had a couple of cocktails. I mean, really, talk about fifth grade. It's just ridiculous. Trump organized a summit with Putin to try to end the Ukraine war to distract from another story. I mean, come on. This is just, you're sitting there and you go, I've never seen stupidity like this on national television in my life. I've been doing this 50 years. I've never seen stupidity like this. The second one is Ambassador to Russia, Michael McFaul. He was Obama's guy over there in Moscow. Hates Trump. Roll the tape.
So Ukraine is actually worse off under President Trump. And this myth that he keeps going back to, and Putin did him the courtesy of underscoring the myth that there would be no war and everything's better under President Trump. The facts on the ground are exactly the opposite.
And this guy just isn't telling the truth, okay? So he says that Ukraine is actually worse off under President Trump. Trump was president 4 years, 16 to 20. Putin didn't invade Ukraine. So you're telling me now, Mr. Ambassador, that now that Putin has invaded under Biden, okay, that they're better off than they were under Trump when there was no invasion? That's what your point is? Come on. Again, this is stupidity. Absolute rank stupidity. And these people don't care because they getting paid. Next soundbite. Fareed Zakaria, CNN. Go.
Look, the atmospherics of the entire summit was somewhat cringeworthy. The fact that Putin was being welcomed on American soil, the fact that Trump gave him literally a red carpet treatment, the kind he has rarely given to any, Democratic ally of the United States.
So what? You nitwit? You don't have anything. You're like Bolton. You got nothing. So what? He comes to the United States, Putin. If they had a deal, wouldn't that have been fantastic? Does it matter where they are? Jeez. And finally, one of the strangest things I have ever seen. Mark Halpern, he's a journalist. He does a lot of internet stuff. He was on, he's been all over the place, this guy. Here's what he says. Go.
I think they're going to arrest him. I think that's the whole thing is to trick him to coming to the U.S. and going to arrest him. He's a war criminal.
I mean, really. He says before Putin shows up that U.S. authorities are going to arrest him. All right. Have I made my point? I think I have. Our healthcare system is a mess. You know that. You wait weeks for a doctor's appointment, get 5 minutes there, then face delays, insurance, red tape. It's slow, frustrating, and it's why All Family Pharmacy stands out in the madness. All Family Pharmacy believes in medical freedom, meaning you decide what works for your health, not some agency or insurance company. Ordering is simple. No waiting rooms, pharmacy lines. Just go online, place your order, and get medications delivered right to your door. They offer 200 medications, including ivermectin and antibiotics, plus emergency kits, customized orders, even bulk buys. More than 100,000 Americans already trust All Family Pharmacy. It's time you check them out. So please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use promo code BILL10 for 10% off. Take your health into your own hands. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill, code BILL10. The Democratic Party now is split again and is having trouble raising money. There's no leader, on and on and on what's going on. There is the radical element that gets all the media attention, and then there are the Democrats that aren't crazy, like Governor Shapiro, Governor Moore, Beshear. They're not crazy people. You may not disagree, you may not agree with them, but they're not going out to try to harm their own country. So what happens, though, when an elected official on Capitol Hill, a senator or a congressperson, goes over the line and tries and does something or says something is so outrageous that Americans are going, this isn't legitimate criticism. Now, I'm going to run you sound bites from Congresswoman Crockett of Texas and Congressman Dan Goldman of New York. Those are two radical left loons. I'm going to run you the sound bites, and then I'm going to give you an AOC quote. So let's go to the tape first. Roll it.
Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of okay, we know that. Yes. He is. But in a functioning democracy, he still would not be able to get away with this.
It is just unquestionable at this point that that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
Now, Goldman apologized for using the word eliminated, but he did use it. And it's a threat. All right, here's Cortez. Quote, President's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations, absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment, unquote. She said this while U.S. planes were in the air coming back from bombing Iran on its nuclear facility. This woman said it. So immediately I got in contact with the House of Representatives Ethics Committee. It's chaired by Congressman Michael Guest of Mississippi. They blew us off at first and just said, we're not able to accommodate your request, some stupid, ridiculously disrespectful thing. So I basically told Congressman Guest, you better wise up, okay? And then they assigned somebody, a big shot, in his crew to talk to me off the record, and I had a civil conversation with that person. I was told that this is all confidential in the House Ethics Committee, so we can't tell you anything. That's essentially what they told me. And I said, that's really not acceptable. So because we do due diligence here on the No Spin News, we got in touch with a former member of the House Ethics Committee from Mississippi. I wanted to keep it very close to home. So joining us now from Flowood, Miss, is Greg Harper. He served 4 years in the House, and he was on the House Ethics Committee. So I was surprised when, and you know Guest pretty well, you're a statesman. I was surprised when they were so rude, number one, and then they said, look, we can't tell you anything because everything is confidential. Is that true?
That's very true. And Bill, I had the privilege of serving in the House for 10 years, and 4 of that was on the Ethics Committee. And I've never seen Michael Guest do anything but his job and do it well. And so I would tell you that it is a unique committee, and one that it's the only committee in the House that has the same number of Republicans as it does Democrats. Any other committee, it's going to be a situation where the majority party has the most. They can control that committee completely. Here you have 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans. They're appointed by the speaker and the minority leader. The majority party gets to name who the chairman is, and then the ranking member. But to get anything passed, there has to be an agreement. It has to be a bipartisan approach. And I will just tell you, nobody wants to serve on the Ethics Committee. Okay, first of all, nobody wants to be on it.
Why?
I remember my very first year when John Boehner asked me to serve. Well, I don't know if he asked me. Maybe he told me I was going to be on the Ethics Committee. I had friends that asked me, so was Boehner mad at you about something? It's one of those thankless assignments.
Well, why is it thankless?
Absolutely necessary, Bill.
The audience doesn't know. Why is it a bad job? Why is it thankless? Why?
Because it's a lot of pressure in it. You can't discuss anything about your committee's activity until there's a release
let's walk
of
through
the information that's there. Yes.
I don't understand this. All right. So you're in business, the House of Representatives, to represent the people. You represent the people. So you got Crockett, okay, saying the President of the United States is a piece of S. You got Goldman saying he should be eliminated. You got AOC saying he should be impeached while U.S. planes are in the air. If these aren't ethical violations, nothing is. Then you should go out of business.
Yeah,
right?
Look, I understand what you're saying. Some of these things are handled internally by if you do something on the House floor, then it can be handled by the whole body. And there are a lot of things, because here's the flip side of that. If you have everything wide open, the minute something's filed, that can come about because of somebody in your own party or another party.
And I understand that.
Political way.
I understand that. But so do the American people understand it. Due process extends to the House Ethics Committee. It does. But if you're going to say, we're not going to tell O'Reilly or any other journalist what we're doing, Not even if Crockett's going to be called in to be questioned by the ethics committee. We're not even going to tell you that. That's not what the Constitution was put in place to do. And you know I'm a historian.
Absolutely.
Jefferson, Madison, Franklin, none of them said, you know, we want to have one congressional committee that's so secret nobody knows what's going on. They didn't do that. You guys did it. You guys slapped a secret on it. And I don't think it serves the people well.
No, I would respectfully, very respectfully, disagree that this committee is made up of some of the best members that you're going to have in the House. It's a heavy burden to do this. Nobody really wants to serve in it, but you cannot go around talking about what the business of the committee is. And when it's done, when they're finished with their business, then you'll see a report come out. For instance,
but we don't even know.
an address and Mike.
But in the
Kelly
meantime, okay, I got it. And due process is very important to me and my viewer and listenership. But we don't even know whether you're going to call Crockett in to be questions, or AOC, or Goldman, or even a Republican. I mean, you know, the guy that yelled at Obama during his State of the Union, he got sanctioned by the whole House, and he should have. You can't have that kind of disrespect. You're a liar. That was insane. But we don't even know if you're going to call the three that I ran in. You really think that's good?
I really don't know any other way to do it. If we're going to say that you are innocent until proven guilty, then you have to be able to say that we're not going to discuss the merits of it.
Okay, but why don't you just do this?
Investigation going on.
I'm going to give you a solution.
Part of this process.
Because I'm a solution guy. All you need to do is tell the press, and you issue the chairman guest issues a one paragraph. Said, we were a bit disturbed. The ethics committee wants to find out what exactly happened when Congresswoman Crockett called the president an S word. And then we'll let you know what we found out. Isn't that reasonable?
Well, it is. And there are times in the process where you may learn some things that are going on, but to have an initial allegation, it's probably not something you could go ahead and say, hey, we've got this, we're looking at this. I think you've got to protect soon enough, Bill, these things will come out through the course of an investigation, and you get a report, and that way you don't wind up
not
with somebody
soon enough
being
for me
trashed, because it's going to get used against them in a political campaign the minute there's a story.
But that's not my main concern is politics. You're a good man. I want everybody to know that. You stepped up to come on, and nobody else wanted to come up against me on this. But I disagree with you. I don't think you need to do conclusions or accusations. And I'm talking now about the House Ethics Committee. You shouldn't do that. You are absolutely 100% correct. But you can tell the people, we are looking at this because it's out of control. You have sitting members of the House calling the president obscene names and asking for an elimination. Even though Goldman apologized, you know who he is. Okay?
Absolutely.
The people need to know they are being scrutinized to some extent. We appreciate you coming on, Congressman. We really do.
Thank you so much, Bill. It's a pleasure.
No, you're a stand-up guy. The Department of Energy is reporting, and not many people know this, that over the next few years, power outages could increase by 10,000% all over the country. And that's because of rocketing demand. Everybody needs power, thanks to the cars, right? The electric cars and data centers, AI, sucking that energy. So if you don't have a backup generator, you need one. And I recommend the Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator from my Patriot Supply. Unlike gas generators, this is a quiet, fume-free, and safe to use indoors. Powerful enough to run almost everything in your home. When you go to mypatriotsupply.com/Bill, order a Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator, you'll get a free expansion battery, doubling the power capacity of the system. That's mypatriotsupply.com/Bill. Free expansion, and the battery offer is available for just a limited time. You got to move it. mypatriotsupply.com/Bill. What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting some breathing room. It is possible when you call American Financing. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, you're not alone. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off debt. Please call American Financing today before the problem gets worse. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans, consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. Their customers save an average of $800 a month. It's fast, simple, and it could save your budget this summer. Please call now before it's too late. American Financing, 888-462-9557. 888-462-9557. AmericanFinancing.net/Bill. All right, here's a final thought of the day. Everybody's talking about foreign affairs. It's very unusual. Mostly Americans look inward. Now, our foreign affairs partner is Global Post. Okay? globalpost.com. They're giving all O'Reilly listeners on the radio, viewers on television, whatever you may be, 50% off their annual subscription. And it's not that expensive. So if you want foreign news, and Global Post is honest, they're not going to give you any BS. Okay, I get it every day. globalpost.com/subscribe. We got this deal for you. You want foreign news? And some of those articles are fascinating. I never even heard of some of this stuff. You know, I like the foreign situation. Okay. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast tonight. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.